What the fuck? Ah!
Professor?
Thank you for your patronage.
Is this all real?
Thank you.
Is this all real? Or is it just happening inside my head? Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
Welcome one, welcome all.
To Mentally Gone Reacts.
We bring you glad tidings from the east coast of the United States of America.
And with these tidings, we announce winter is indeed coming.
Today was, as the Brits say, in a quite proper and posh form, today was cold as shite.
Cold as shite.
Cold as shite, mate, this morning. Almost froze me bollocks.
Almost froze me bollocks off.
Almost froze me bollocks off, mate.
Oh, yes.
All right, so we dropped off with Littlefinger, who turns out to be a big a-hole.
Yeah.
You know, he betrayed Ned Stark.
Arsehole. He's an arse.
He's an arse.
He's an arse.
He's an arse with a capital arse. And we have Ned Stark, who's trying to upkeep bureaucracy, and Cersei rips it in front of him and says, "Go to hell with your bureaucracy."
And Joffrey shall be crowned
Mother,
king.
I am king. Mother, I wish to be king, and I will be king, and I want that girl.
And that boy does not know who his daddy is.
Who is my father, Mother? It is who?
Is it the boar man or is it the blonde man?
It's one of the oarsmen in the Navy. I've been studying the Peloponnesian War, of all things. And so that's gotten me very hyped for this because there's a lot of parallels with the Hawks and the Doves and the Syracuse, Sicily island undertaking that Athens attempted. I'll be, throwing in a little bit of this side quest stuff, random stuff that I like to read about. And yeah, it's just getting me into the mood, into the groove of Game of Thrones.
And let us not forget to introduce ourselves to any newcomers on the channel.
I need no introduction, I'll tell you.
And you are?
I need no introduction. Where the wind blows, my name you shall hear.
Say your name.
Where a cricket sings, thy name dwells and becketh.
Okay, and I'm Gabriella.
And I'm Callie Lacerda. I'm a true and one and only American. I just make up voices because I'm just being a little silly with y'all today. But truthfully, this is my accent. So if this is your first time on the channel, no. I'm the only brown boy that you're going to hear with this accent on the interwebs.
And then I'll be doing this.
But I also am part-time Icelandic. I do meditation tutorials on the internet. I am also known as Wim Hof.
I like to learn a little bit of Irish. I like the Irish accent. I don't know how they do that.
Take a deep breath in.
Oh, yeah.
You do the accent that you do?
1 minute and a half breath hold.
1 minute and a half breath hold.
Would you like to prolong your breath hold? Pause the video now.
It's okay.
That's the Wim Hof breathing.
Yeah.
Yes, ASMR for you peoples out there.
Oh, yeah. What other life update? Just a quick life update. I'm going to update you guys as I go because I know that a lot of people are going through very similar experiences in the world. 64 days sober. It's midnight, so 65 days sober from Mary J. Daily Mary J. abuse, I'd say. Recovering from that. No coffee for a few days. I've been off coffee now. It's been a few days. I don't plan on going back to coffee anytime soon. Replaced it with matcha, green tea, herbal teas, book reading, physical exercise, and all that good stuff. And yeah, feeling good, feeling clear. If you're on the fence about taking a little break off, if you're a daily, you're a daily stoner, like stoner, like you're stoned, like you can't move, like I was. It's worth taking a little break off because it clears up your mind and reminds you of who you really are beneath all of that stimuli.
Yeah, because really, people have different reactions to THC, right? So not everybody tolerates it well, and every person responds to it differently. But I do think that it's always worth, living life soberly and taking it in moment by moment.
Like the good Lord intended.
Yes. Yes, amen.
All right. So any update from you?
Well, just, we took a small little break because we had some personal
we don't gotta talk
stuff.
about that.
Yeah, but
No, we don't gotta talk about it.
no, but that's like
No. Like we don't gotta keep
Hurry.
like every time we just keep saying the same thing that we're back from a break. And then
yeah,
we're gonna,
it's okay.
whatever.
But it was, family stuff and, yeah.
Any positive stuff, updates?
Positive updates, yes. I've been also looking into some grounding exercises to help me manage my emotions and anxieties and daily stresses and stuff. And yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about doing these videos. I'm excited about this episode.
All right. So this one's called The Pointy End. If I'm not mistaken, that's what John tells Arya when he gives her the needle, right, sword. So The Pointy End is the name of the episode. I'm assuming it'll be centered around Arya or more focused on her and giving her more time to shine. And I'm excited to get into it.
Let's do it.
All right. So without any further ado, glasses on, ladies and gents. As always.
And those glasses I wore last time. There was one time I wore these black with the black ones. They're not very comfortable.
Oh, they're not?
No.
These are the only ones I got. So I got to make use. All right. So, also, how can I forget? Special thank you to everybody over on Patreon. On Patreon, you can find full uncut reactions. You can link your copy of the movie with our copy. We provide the timestamp and the countdown. So when I press play, you press play, and then it seems like we're watching it together. Like that's how it's supposed to feel. And then you get the full, unedited, unaltered reaction and discussion and all that good stuff.
Uncensored, explicit, all that.
Uncensored for Game of Thrones, uncensored, explicit. So over 18, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know,
you know
like,
the
ask your
drills.
mom. Yeah, like ask your mom. If you have to ask your mom, you probably shouldn't subscribe to the Patreon
Yes.
to watch the Game of Thrones uncensored. But if you don't have to ask your mom, then yeah, check us out. So 3, 2, 1, and play.
Like that a lot.
I'm gonna start reclining my thing more often, maybe at the beginning. Oh, we went half mass.
Sean Bean. And he was in the Lord of the Rings.
Sean Bean.
He was the one that started getting a little bit crazy over the ring.
Oh, you're talking about Ned Stark?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, yeah, you're right.
He was, yeah.
The Bite. Place is called The Bite. Winterfell. Home of the Starks.
I like that one.
The Old Gods. The tree of the Old Gods.
Gosh, please take us back to Winterfell. I don't like where we're at right now.
I know. Take us back to simpler times.
I know.
The Wall. That's what Jon Snow is.
There's still Tyrion's pee dripping off of the side of it.
Oh, yeah. You got a little waterfall right there. The golden shower.
Imagine being on the other side of that wall and you just see this.
It's like Alexa didn't say it was going to rain today.
Alexa.
The Dothraki. They live in tents. They're nomads. Traveling folk.
Boom, boom.
Oh,
Ooh.
kickstart.
Left high, left low.
Syrio and Arya. Oh, we're picking up right where we left off. Littlefinger. With his blade
yeah.
around Ned Stark's neck.
You break anything, the scepter will have my eggs.
Oh,
Jeez.
damn. All out massacre.
Unarmed people?
Innocent citizens.
What is it? What's happening? As I told you. Run!
Are they gonna try to kill Ned's kids? Is that what's? I mean, it makes sense, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Or capture them at least. Oh, not the grandma.
Are you kidding me?
My tongue lied. My eyes shouted the truth. You were not seeing.
Ooh.
I like that.
The seeing. The true seeing. That is the heart of swordplay.
Damn, this guy speaks in poetry. He's like Rumi.
Dies.
My father wouldn't send you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to go with you if I don't want.
Okay.
I'm Syrio Forel, foreign bastard.
Oh, with a wooden sword. Damn.
Run to your father.
Run, lady. Come on.
Ooh.
Damn, wooden sword is crazy.
Woo!
Shoo. Let's dance.
Run!
The first sword of Bravos does not run.
Her sword. What does that mean?
I don't know. Why isn't she running?
She's watching her master in real time.
Go.
Do we say to the god of death, not today?
Oh man.
Oof, this guy's scary.
Stay away from me. I'll tell my father.
My father will hear about this.
I'll tell the queen.
Who do you think sent me?
Oh.
Oh no. The guy was worried about his wares.
There she is.
What do you want?
Want you, wolf girl. Come here.
Whoa.
Oh.
Ah. Ah.
Ooh.
Ah.
Oh my gosh. That's her first kill.
That's her first kill. Yeah, that's interesting. It went from practice to real.
Yeah.
0 to 100 real quick. Varys.
Stark, you must be thirsty. Sure, it isn't poison. Why is it no one ever trusts the eunuch?
What's a eunuch?
He's been castrated.
What?
The younger one seems to have escaped the castle. Even my little birds cannot find her. The rest of your household, though, all dead.
What? Every single one of
You
them?
watched my men being slaughtered and did nothing.
And would again, my lord. I was unarmed, unarmored, and surrounded by Lannister swords. When you look at me, do you see a hero?
Fair point.
Your wife has let the imp slip through her fingers.
Damn, so he doesn't even have leverage. There's no collateral in this deal.
And slit my throat and be done with it.
Not today, my lord.
Not today, that's what we say to the god of death. Not today.
Who do you truly serve?
The realm, my lord. Someone must.
What does that mean?
The realm, like, survival? Existence?
The realm is its own survival.
Yeah, this guy's... That was pretty cold, though. He said, like, yeah, and I'd do it again. I'd watch it again. That's crazy.
It's also, without a doubt.
Oh.
That's the hand the wolf tore off.
Frozen to death.
Oh,
Sign of Benjen and all the rest of his party.
not his uncle's hand.
Just these two, my lord.
Oh, it's not his uncle's hand, you're right.
The smell. What smell?
I don't smell it.
There is none.
Yeah, there's no...
He's been dead for a long time. Wouldn't there be rot?
He's smart.
What is he, a doctor or something?
You may be a coward, Charlie. You're not stupid.
This boy's a doctor.
Well, he comes from like a prestigious family.
Yeah.
A raven from King's Landing.
A raven. Is it the three-eyed raven that Bronn keeps seeing?
I think that they send messages through ravens, right?
Is it always ravens?
I believe, at least in the north, it seems that way.
The king is dead.
Here it goes.
Is there any word of my father? Sis.
Robert Baratheon, dead. Killed by Cersei.
They say he conspired with Robert's brothers to deny the throne to Prince Joffrey. hope you're not thinking of doing anything stupid. Your duty lies here now.
My sisters were in King's Landing too.
I'm sure they'll be treated gently.
But he took the oath, right? So he can't leave.
He can't leave, yeah.
King Robert's body was still warm when Lord Eddard began plotting to steal Joffrey's rightful
Look at that. They're curating a narrative.
Sansa Sweetling, you were innocent of any wrong, we know that. Yet you are the daughter of a traitor.
What the heck?
How can I allow you to marry my son?
That's what she wants.
I'll be a queen just like you, I promise. I won't hatch anything.
Be a queen just like you. I won't hatch anything. What?
This queen is hatching everything.
I know.
Urge your brother to keep the king's peace. Tell him to come to King's Landing and swear his fealty to John.
Oh, heck no. Come to King's Landing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right.
Pledge fealty to the greatest king of all time, Joffrey.
They just want to trap them all there. Because right now they're not under their thumbs.
And treason is so opposite to what Ned represents.
Words. You're summoned to King's Landing to swear fealty to the new king.
No.
Joffrey puts my father in chains. Now he wants his ass kissed.
Oh,
This is a royal command, my lord.
His ass.
His ass.
Call the banners.
Call the banners.
Yes.
Now we see what the words are worth.
He's impressed. Very strategic. Very opposite of like John's reaction was like a little bit more emotional.
Afraid?
Yeah, you're right. Oh.
Must be. Good. Why is that good?
Means you're not stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some truth to that for sure. Oh, this kid's
You've had this since dawn.
having brunch.
My husband has been taken prisoner. My son intends to declare war. A war? Your son against the Lannisters? Ned rots in a dungeon, and you speak of patience. He is your brother by law. Does family mean nothing to you? Family means everything to me. And I will not risk Robin's life to get caught up in another of your husband's wars. I'm hungry.
This kid's freaking radical.
But I'm hungry. We'll laugh soon. Time for your bath. I'll feed you after. The Knights of the Vale will stay in the Vale where they belong to protect their lord.
I mean, she's right to be afraid of them. They did kill her husband.
But there's power in numbers, right? If you call up the banners, can't everybody rival? Can't the other kingdoms rival against the Lannisters?
Yeah, but from what we know, the Lannisters have all the money and all the power behind them.
What do you want, Bronn? Gold? Women? Golden women? Stick with me and you'll have them all. For as long as I'm around and not a moment longer. But you knew that. That is why you so valiantly took up arms to defend my honor.
Fair enough.
Gold digger right here.
And if the day ever comes when you're tempted to sell me out, remember this. Whatever their price, I'll beat it. I like living.
My father will pay for it. Appetizing.
Tyrion.
Uh-oh.
What's that guy's name? Bran?
Bronn.
Bronn. With an O.
Bronn. He's Bronn. Is that what it's called? Being Bronn with the A-W?
Maybe. AWN, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Come.
Oh, we got some Vikings here. The heck?
I am Tyrion, son of Tywin of Clan Lannister.
How would you like to die, Tyrion, son of Tywin?
In my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my...
Take the half man. He can dance for the children. Kill the other one.
No, 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 no. My house is rich and powerful. If you see us through these mountains, my father will shower you with gold.
We have no use for a half man's promises.
Half a man, maybe. At least I have the courage to face my enemies. What do the stone crows do? Hide behind rocks and shiver when the Knights of the Vale ride by. Those the best weapons you could steal? Good enough for killing sheep. The sheep don't fight back. Lannister Smith's shit better steal.
Oosh.
Oh, I thought he decapitated him right there. So it begins.
That trinket is worth more than everything you're trying
Ooh.
Lord of the Rings.
I will give you this.
What is this?
The Vale of Aaron. The Lords of the Vale have always spat upon the hill tribes. The Lords of the Vale want me dead. I believe it is time for new Lords of the Vale.
Oh.
Damn, an entire kingdom? That's pretty tempting.
Real estate? He's like, I could give you...
My father owns all the kingdom. I could give you whatever you want.
It is busted.
Gotta hit this guy.
Man, this guy really pushes the buttons. If only I had a knife in my hand and now we're cutting food up.
Ooh.
Blood will always tell. You'll hang for this bastard.
He provokes him and then...
In the presence of the commander, right? Like the principal's right there. Why can't the principal do something?
I don't know.
It's like Dumbledore.
I told you not to do anything stupid. You're confined to quarters. Go.
It's better than death sentence, you know, than hanging. Aw, he's a good boy.
Aw, he wants to get out.
He wants to go for a walk, just like Shadow does.
Ghost, what's wrong?
Uh-oh.
Is someone out there?
That's interesting. I'm getting scared.
What's going on? Oh, this feels like a horror movie now.
I don't know.
Hello, Commander.
Ah!
What is that?
Ah! What the?
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
Ah, that guy was dead.
He's not dying.
It's a zombie. You can't kill a zombie, can you?
I don't know. Oh my gosh!
Aim for the head. Aim for the head.
Oh, that did something.
No! Come on!
What the heck? This is like the thing in the beginning.
Oh. And it's smart enough to take it out. Oh my god.
Oh, you can only burn them. That's why they said it.
Fire. They're pillaging a village, knocking down their idols, women.
Why? What are they doing?
I thought the Dothraki didn't believe in money.
Gold to hire ships, princess.
Wow,
Ships
kids.
to sail to Westeros.
Don't sit right with her. I could tell she's got a heavy, guilty conscience for what's going on. This is like a sport for them, right?
What do you want done with them?
Bring her to me. And those women there.
You cannot claim them all, princess.
I can. And I will.
Shut up, Jacques, my mother.
Oh, they're upset.
I heard Khaleesi. They're talking shit about her.
Ana Khalisi, Ana Asok Yerisikoshi.
He's like,
They usual for you. Zacharias me my. Vish Phineas aja hisha sedes. Any near my bosso so my. Mago. Is that chechna get hele?
oh.
Asumaja. Jaka nin voska.
Oh, damn.
What?
Awesome.
And he's sitting in front of a ram statue, which is representative of Ares, perhaps. It's that fire energy, you know? Oh, shit.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. He moves swift for a big guy. Ooh. Ooh.
Ah.
Ooh.
Ah. Just ripped his tongue out.
His whole throat.
Damn, son.
That's why his braid is the longest. You don't want to mess with this guy.
Hinaholaki.
Iniostos.
Angelas lactos rakis veshvena osiso shanmai.
Zigre vor hlaiha zafron inigovio ket.
Me anawe me vestoy.
Thank you, Silver Lady.
Who are you?
I am named Miri Mazdur. I was the god's wife of this temple.
Maigi.
The great shepherd sent me to earth to heal his...
as a maigi zichar.
Lamb or lion, his wound must be washed and sewn, or it will fester.
Doesn't look that bad, right?
I mean, it could infect though. It could create, like, it could worsen depending on, especially back then when they're all kind of archaic, you know.
Oh, she's got like an eye necklace.
She does give me witchy vibes though.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they did just murder her whole village.
Yeah, I don't know.
So like, you want to trust her to help you out?
I don't know, but she saved her, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't trust anyone in the show.
I will lead the van, or I will take my men and march them home.
Excuse me?
You are welcome to do so, Lord Umber. And when I am done with the Lannisters, I will march back north, root you out of your keep, and hang you for an oathbreaker.
Oathbreaker, is it?
Oh.
I'll not sit here and swallow insults from a boy so green he pisses grass.
Ooh! These direwolves. Oh my gosh.
That's how he got his name, Littlefinger.
This guy's no fingers.
It was death to bear steel against your liege, Lord. Doubtless, the great John only meant to cut my meat for me.
Your meat
Oh, he's like saving his life.
bloody tough.
Your meat is bloody tough. Oops, just a little accident. Cutting his meat for Robb Stark.
At least it wasn't his thumb.
HBO, hire me, please.
If it was his thumb, we'd be having a different conversation.
I know, like opposable thumbs, you can't take that away from a man, from a warrior.
What is it? What's happened?
It's all right.
Anxiety. What is it? What happened?
Where are you going?
Oh.
For father,
But it's the middle of the night.
the Lannisters have spies everywhere. I don't want them to know we are coming. Listen to Maester Lewin. Look after your little brother.
That's interesting, actually.
I'll send letters whenever I can. If you don't hear from me, don't be scared till I return.
When I'm gone, just carry on. No more rejoice every time you hear the sound of my voice. Just know that I'm looking down on you smiling. And now that you hear the things, baby, don't feel the pain. Just smile back.
Oh, yeah.
Robb will be looking for you.
Oh, look at the little one.
They've all gone away. They'll be back soon. Robb will free father, and they'll come back with mother. No, they won't.
Like, be no negative, bro.
Oh, man. We don't know how much time has passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably been a while now.
You hear them, boy? The old gods are answering you.
What are you doing here?
They're my gods, too.
The old gods.
Beyond the wall, they're the only gods.
Nature.
What did you mean about hearing the gods?
You ask them, they're answering you. Shh. Open your ears.
It's only the wind.
Who do you think sends the wind, if not the gods?
They
see you, boy. They hear you.
Wow.
Your brother will get no help from them where he's going. The old gods have no power in the south. The weirwoods there were all cut down a long time ago. How can they watch when they have no eyes?
Ooh.
What the heck?
What?
What the heck?
Oh, there's a big man.
What the?
Giant's blood in him, or I'm the queen.
Go back and find your clothes, Hodor. Go dress.
Hold on.
He just says his name.
Wait.
He's got like special needs. My boy a little special, but he chill.
Cold winds are rising.
Oh, it's October. It's getting chilly out there. The foliage changing colors, looking quite posh and proper.
And this is what she's referring to. That's north, is these things.
Yeah, which seem like a really big threat because they don't die.
That's why they came back.
White Walkers.
That's why their eyes turned blue.
How does he know everything? He must have read a lot of books.
He be reading Harry Potter and stuff.
How'd you know that? I read about it in a book.
He be reading Harry Potter.
Mr. Amon's library.
He's the only one that knows how to read there.
What else did the book say?
The White Walkers.
John could read. He read the letter.
Beneath the ice for thousands of years. And when they wake up, I hope the wall's high enough.
Are you kidding me? What do you mean? This wall is so high.
Damn, I thought that one of the ridges was the end of it.
He's like saying, I hope the wall is high enough.
Yeah.
It better be. What do you mean?
Summer snows, my lady.
Robb's brought the north with him.
Oh yeah, now it's a party.
We had thought not to meet you here, milady.
I had not thought to be here. I would speak with my son alone. I know you will forgive me, my lords.
You heard her. Move your asses!
Arses. I wonder if that's like specific to certain regions. Aww. Reunion.
It's a family reunion.
From Sansa.
From the queen, you mean?
She didn't even read it yet and she knows.
Yeah, she's seasoned. She's old enough. She's been around.
I wish she was there with Ned.
Mm-hmm.
How many men do you have?
18,000.
Damn.
If I go to King's Landing and bend my knee to Joffrey...
You would never be allowed to leave. No. Our best hope, our only hope, is that you can defeat them in the field.
And if I lose?
Do you know what happened to the Targaryen children when the Mad King fell?
They were butchered in the sleep.
On the orders of Tywin Lannister. And the years had not made him kinder.
He was skinning an animal.
Your father dies.
This guy's a monster.
Your sisters die. We die.
What the heck? That's a lot of pressure.
Well, that makes it simple then.
I suppose it does.
Can't lose. That's it. Gotta win. All right.
You either win or
you die.
You win.
Oh man. Tywin Lannister.
Tyrion is inadvertently helping his father here by giving him more firepower, more men in arms.
Yeah.
If the half-man betrays us, Shagga, son of Dolph, will cut off his manhood.
And feed it to the goats, yes. All right, then. I'm to meet my father.
Oh, no.
Always trust somebody who speaks in third person. That's a rule of thumb. See, but he's like, he's aiding his father in some capacity.
True.
Because these are extra men for the war.
They're pretty intimidating.
Look, everybody's stepping aside.
Look at these tents compared to the other ones.
Uncle?
I know.
Father?
Here's a flair for the dramatic.
Rumors of your demise were unfounded.
Sorry to disappoint you.
And who are these companions of yours?
This is Shagga, son of Dolph, chieftain of the Stone Crow. Timit, son of Timit, ruler of the Burned Men. This fair maid is Chella, daughter of Check, leader of the Blackbeard.
It's fair maid.
Here we have Bronn, son of...
Her front tooth are decaying.
You wouldn't know him.
You wouldn't.
Tywin, son of Tytos of House Lannister, Lord of Casterly Rock, Warden of the West. Kind of you to go to war for me.
You left us no choice. The honor of the house was at stake. Your brother would never have submitted to capture so meekly.
We have our differences, Jaime and I. He's braver. I'm better looking.
He's been covering himself in glory.
Jaime smashed the river lords of the Golden Tooth and now lays siege to Riverrun, Catelyn Stark's homeland.
And Starks, Lord Eddard?
Is our hostage. He will lead no armies from his dungeon cell.
How did my sweet sister persuade the king to imprison his dear friend Ned?
Robert Baratheon is dead. Joffrey rules in King's Landing.
Oh, man.
My sister rules, you mean?
Stark's son has called his banners. He moves south with a strong host.
Green boy. One taste of battle and he'll run back to Winterfell with his tail between his legs.
Maybe.
What does that mean to be green?
Inexperienced, naive.
It is said that the men of the mountain clans are great warriors. Ride with me against my enemies and you shall have all my son promised you and more.
Only if the half-man fights with us.
It seems fair. You can't have daddy who fight all your battles all the time.
Lord Frey controls that bridge. Your father's bannerman.
The late Lord Frey, my father calls him. At the Trident, he didn't appear until the battle was done.
So he's a little sketchy?
I would be late to a war, too. Fashionably late.
Yeah. It's like, oh, the Raven never came.
Oh, I thought it was 8 p.m. Sorry, guys.
Move against Jaime or Lord Tywin?
Against Jaime.
I'd say use all your forces for Tywin.
The Lannister scout.
Where did you find him?
In the brush above the encampment. He looked to be counting.
Spy, a little bird, a little dove.
How high did you get?
20,000, maybe more.
You don't have to do this yourself. Your father would understand
My
if
father
I...
understands mercy when there is room for it.
Hmm.
And he understands honor and courage. Let him go.
Robb.
He's like, don't question me.
You gotta trust. That's the thing about leadership. You gotta trust your leader.
Yeah. I trust my leader.
20,000 Northerners marching south to find out if he really does shit gold.
Because he overcalculated it.
Thank you, my lord.
See, like people back then couldn't read or do math. So you send somebody to go do math. That's what happens. You're like, go do math. Count until 20,000.
Boy, letting him go.
You call me boy again. Go on.
He's really stepping in.
Every boy becomes a man eventually. Do not question puberty.
Oh, man. Who is this?
It's a prison guard.
It is the wish of His Grace that Tywin Lannister, Lord of Castle Rock and Warden of the West, be appointed Hand of the King.
Grandpa.
Sir Barristan Selmy.
Your Grace, I am yours to command.
Rise, Sir Barristan.
You may remove your helm.
You have served the realm long and faithfully. Every man and woman in the Seven Kingdoms owes you thanks. But it is time to put aside your armor and your sword. It is time to rest and look back with pride on your many years of service.
Oh, she's retiring him?
Your Grace, the King's Guard is a sworn brotherhood. Our vows are taken for life. Only death relieves us of our sacred trust.
Whose death, Sir Barristan, yours or your king's?
You let my father die. You're too old to protect anybody.
Your Grace.
The Council has determined that Sir Jaime Lannister will take your place as Lord Commander of the King.
Oh, of course.
The man who profaned his blade with the blood of the king he had sworn to defend.
Careful, sir.
We have nothing but gratitude for your long service, good sir.
You shall be given a stout keep beside the sea, with servants to look after your every need.
A hall to die in, and men to bury me.
There's no honor. Honor.
Naked night, apparently.
That is rich. Rich for my blood.
Gosh.
Even now I could cut through the five of you like carving a cake. Here, boy. Melt it down and add it to the others.
There's on the throne.
Add it to the throne is crazy.
Your Grace.
Oh no.
Come forward, my lady.
Oh no, what is she going?
Sansa of House Stark.
You have some business for the King and the Council, Sansa.
I do. As it please your Grace, I ask mercy for my father, Lord Eddard Stark, who is Hand of the King.
Do you deny your father's crime?
No, my lords. I know he must be punished. All I ask is mercy. I know my lord father must regret what he did. He was King Robert's friend and he loved him. You all know he loved him. He never wanted to be Hand until the king asked him. They must have lied to him, Lord Renly or Lord Stannis or somebody. They must have lied.
Scapegoat. Trying to find a scapegoat.
Child's faith, such sweet innocence. And yet they say wisdom oft comes from the mouths of babes.
Treason is treason.
Ugh, this guy's annoying.
Anything else?
If you still have any affection in your heart for me, please do me this kindness, your Grace.
I don't know.
Your sweet words have moved me, but your father has to confess. He has to confess and say that I'm the king, or there'll be no mercy for him.
Oh, shoot.
He will.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, just like that. Nice transition.
I don't know that he will.
Yeah, I don't know if she could really broker that negotiation for him. I don't think she's good. I don't know. Like, her dad seems pretty adamant about not bending his pride and his honor.
Yeah.
In favor of the people who committed such atrocious acts against him and his loved ones.
Yeah. all of his men? They killed every single one of them.
In the last episode, I think you said that Cersei was a Greek goddess, right? A Greek queen?
Cersei. Yeah.
She's a Greek what? Queen, goddess?
Goddess, I think. And I think the story, I'm like trying to remember now, is that she would use poison to turn men into like pigs or something.
Into boars.
Or yeah.
I think specifically boars, because just the other day I was looking in the dictionary because I'm off my smartphone, so no more Google and quickly searching things up. I'm manually going through a dictionary, like back when I was 10 or 12 when the teachers taught us that. But I stumbled across Cersei in the dictionary. It says that she was either a queen or a goddess who would transform her lovers into boars. And so the fact that they, put a lot of emphasis on the fact that King Robert Baratheon was killed by a boar specifically, not a wild hog, not a pig, not a lion, not a whatever, is interesting, because I feel like all of this has been steadily planned for a while, because they know exactly who to put in which positions. Put Tywin Lannister as the king of as the hand of the king, which is the one basically doing all of the duties, right? While the king drinks and parades and sleeps and does all the king stuff. Yeah, and then put Jaime Lannister as the captain of the Knights Guard, is what they're called, right? The commander, yeah. Which is a cool parallel too, how they have a lifelong vow, just like the Brothers of the Watch, and then you have the Knights Guard. Yeah. So there are these little factions and brotherhoods, is what he called it. Pretty interesting, pretty cool. Arya escaped. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in order of the notes. If you're new to the channel, this portion of the video is reserved for our long form, sporadic, and often tangential discussions that may or may not make any sense. They make sense. Don't worry. First thing I wrote was Arya practice to action. So that was a cool thing, how she was learning how to dance, and then now she needs to really dance against the fire of war. Like no more practice, no more taking it easy. She taints her hand with the innocent blood of another child, and just it all happens fairly quickly too, and without much preparation. So she goes from studying her SATs to, like, can you make it into Harvard? Like, let's find out. Yeah. So that's what happens there. And what's interesting about that is that Varys and Littlefinger, I suppose, also they use children to like as spies, right? And then that's why when he reports to Ned about his daughters, he says that Arya escaped the castle. Even my little birds couldn't find her. Oh, I didn't think about that. Because the kid approached her and then said, I'm going to take you to the queen. Like, come on, wolf girl. So there was already orders out on, like, every single person kind of was like alerted to retrieve the Stark daughters and bring them to Cersei. So you think they use children as spies because children in this kingdom, they're more prone to receive mercy in case they get caught, and that's why at the end, both Littlefinger and Varys they express how truth and wisdom usually flows from the mouth of babes, is something he said, which is the purity of a child, the innocence of youth. Yeah. Right. And to use children as spies is pretty interesting, because if you've ever been to a family gathering, right, and you have younger children around, that if you do something and you tell a child to like I'm gonna steal this bread, but don't tell anybody that I'm eating the last piece of chicken or the last one, they'll tell everybody. Yeah. So there's a propensity towards truth, even if it's under the guidance of ubiquitous kind of weird, sleazy men who want to use them to acquire a certain truth that fits into their agenda. But children usually are like fountains of truth. It's like you can't really make a child lie for you. You can only make them tell the truth so long as it benefits them.
Yeah. Well, you could also say that they're easily manipulated, though, because then, for instance, right, like in those family situations, like if you have a weird family dynamics of where there's like a lot of gossip, for example, then anything that you say around kids will travel through the kids like to other, because I've had instances of that. If I was like around certain family and then I heard something being said, if it was like about my parents or whatever, I would take that information back to them, you know? And so I think that that's also a part of it too.
Unless you offer them a PS5 to stay shut, which works.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll give you a PS5 if you don't tell anyone that I got the last piece of turkey.
Oh my gosh.
It's like that works sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe. So that was pretty cool with Arya, and it's her first introduction to the cruelty of the world. You know, she went from being this incubated, privileged, noble girl who's receiving private tennis classes, right? Private ballet classes, learning how to dance, how to wield the sword. And now, a nice parallel with her other siblings, more specifically Robb Stark, she's casted into the net of war, and she's casted into the ocean, and she has to now learn how to swim. So she could swim or sink or drown, swim or drown, and Robb Stark is showing the same thing, and that's where the green boy thing comes from. It's basically implying that he's naive and that he's inexperienced. But the privilege of being a noble child is that you get special training from the time that you're born, and you're groomed to take on the role of your father or your grandparents or whatever it may be.
And so far, I feel like it's very interesting because I think that Robb and Arya, more specifically, they look the most parallel to their father in terms of the darker kind of ironic Stark features and stuff, and they're the most similar to their father. So they're especially Robb, because I think in contrast to the way that Jon reacted to the letter about, you know, his dad committing treason and basically implying that he's been captured and that his sisters in King's Landing are now in danger, had a more emotional reaction to that versus Robb, who automatically kind of just went into like a calculative, strategic thinking, knowing what he's dealing with. And then I think it's interesting because I feel like if Catelyn was there in King's Landing with Ned Stark, because she kind of warned him from the beginning not to go to King's Landing, and she knew the kind of people that these people are. Because
her sister's husband got killed by them.
Yes, exactly. And why did he get killed? Because he was unraveling the truth about, literally about the things that Ned is unraveling the truth about. So it's literally the same fate is awaiting, kind of.
F around and find out, basically, is what is the game he's playing. I just thought of something that I'm going to start calling these like mentally gone ideas. So these are like the far reaching ones that just like really inspired me, and just like kind of just like I catch them like a little net. But I just like, as you're saying that, I was thinking, what if the reaction of Jon Snow and Robb Stark were fundamentally different because of the fact that when, like, without Neddard Stark, if Neddard Stark is imprisoned, if something happens to him, if he's removed from the realm, right, then Jon Snow has to basically cope and has to confront in a deep-seated identity issue, which is like his father, his bastard father, is his bastard father, but it's basically his one true identity that he's learned throughout his whole life. So he's been conditioned to associate himself with that title, of being a bastard. So if you remove a father from that scenario and you are fatherless, so you're no longer a bastard, you're a fatherless, no father, like who are you basically?
Yeah, because...
And then that's why Robb Stark, when that happened, he was so quick to calculating and so quick to implementing strategies because he said, I'm a Stark.
Yeah.
Jon Snow didn't say, I'm a Stark.
Yeah.
He got emotional. Because he's already at the edge of the world. He's in the Night's Watch, right? He's struggling with his identity as it stands. And then now he's going to be stripped of the only kind of rock that he felt like he had his whole life, which is his father.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it actually makes a lot of sense because there's a deep rejection wound, right? It's kind of being the outcast among the other siblings. So what you're saying is basically he has to prove himself more in order to even be associated with the name Starks. And then what you're saying is that if Eddard. No, Eddard.
Eddard. The third.
If Ned Stark ceased to exist, then Jon Snow wouldn't have any real relational. And another thing is that he would never know who his mom is.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like he would have trouble figuring out what is his role within the reality that he lives in during that time. It's like, what is he going to be? But then but it also shows that he doesn't really have much certainty to his oath or to the vow that he made to the Night's Watch and to the Brotherhood as of that moment, because he was already thinking about going and saving them. So it hasn't really hit him yet, the commitment and the weight of that commitment, which is a lifelong pledge, which he made with his friends. But it's kind of like when you are in high school and you go out with your friends and you're kind of just all kind of going off of each other's energy, and you drink more than you're supposed to, and you overdo things. And so I think that he went off of that high of belonging in the Night's Watch because he never felt like he belonged. Even amongst his siblings, he was always known, like when they turned their backs to him and talked behind closed doors, it's like, yeah, but that's not your real brother. You know that, right? Like he's just, he's not even your half brother. He's just a bastard.
Yeah.
So here he's among thieves and literally a hero among thieves. And so he feels that validation. And that leads him to pledge because he wants to hold on to that feeling. And I think that a lot of people make lifelong commitments, and that's why Las Vegas exists, and that's why people get married there.
On a whim.
Yeah, on a whim, because it's off of that dopamine, like that dopamine spike. I don't know if that's the right chemical, but it's the dopamine spike. It's the thing that gets you all exhilarated and hopeful and optimistic about the future. But then once things kind of hit the fan and you're facing reality in its most gruesome, ugly face, then you start forgetting all of the things that you did in moments of optimism.
I want to say this. I think that the way that I see it also is that he joined the Night's Watch kind of with the assumption that he would be a ranger, which would kind of give him more purpose and the duty of the Night's Watch, which is, a more demanding kind of noble duty, right?
Protecting all the realm,
all
the seven
among
kingdoms.
The wall, like this unexplored territory that holds the unknowns, right? But then when he becomes a steward and is just a steward to the Lord Commander, I feel like it strips down that purpose that maybe he felt like he would have gotten from being a part of the Night's Watch. And then hearing this news, you start balancing the scales of like importance in terms of like what feels more significant, right? Is it stepping up and saving his father and his sisters in King's Landing, or is it being a steward in the Night's Watch, you know, versus if he had been a ranger and then maybe saw. But now the irony is that I think that the fact that these zombies, these undead things have shown themselves, made him realize that there is a greater danger, and now it's going to start feeding again back to his purpose of why he's in the Night's Watch and doing the duties for that instead.
And that's why the Lord Commander basically treated the death of his sisters as a causality. It's like it's just going to be something. Hopefully, they get a gentle treatment. Yeah. So comparatively, like it's very interesting. And just to quote, well, not to quote, but to paraphrase Pericles from ancient Athens, he basically said that he back then in 430 BC, he already knew that the enthusiasm with which people agree to go to war is never sustained when it's time for action. So when things are put in motion, that's when you can't really calculate and predict stuff. So war is a messy sport, and that's what it's showing us too. It's like you can't account for all the variables, for all the spies in the bushes counting, and all of the pillaging of the village, and one of your right-hand men turn on you and challenge you to a battle, and then you rip his tongue out, and so there's a lot of variables that happen. But I think that it's just the enthusiasm part. It's just that initial spike and initial want for battle.
Yeah.
But I don't think it really follows through.
And there's like an adrenaline to that, right? That
they didn't have TV back then.
Yeah.
They didn't have Game of Thrones to watch.
That's why the Robert Baratheon King Robert would have these freaking, what do you call those? The thing that
jousting?
Jousting, yes, the jousts and stuff, yeah.
That's why the Romans would go to the Colosseum. It's literally to see gladiators get ripped apart by lions.
Gosh.
And just people fed to the lions because it's something fun. It's something to do. It's like, what are you doing Friday night? And I'm just going to go watch the mutilation, the lion mutilation display. All right. So like that was my opinion of the whole, well, our opinion, but like that was my thought about the whole thing, because Jon Snow is facing an identity issue, and not only an identity issue within the confines of the hierarchy of roles and titles of the Seven Realms, of being a lord, of being a king, of being a queen. He's now facing the biggest identity crisis, which is, wait, I thought life was a certain way, and now I'm figuring out that it's not what I thought it was. So when you have that shift of like the basics of reality get turned on its head, where people are not dying as they should, and they're awakening, and they're getting stabbed by a sword in the heart, and they're managing to pull it out and act as if nothing happened and retaining their strength. What's going on?
Yeah.
So it's, and he's also being hit with that. Simultaneously, Ned Stark is also getting freaking imprisoned and held hostage and stuff. So it's a double whammy for Jon Snow.
Yeah, but something I wanted to point out is that when they joined the Night's Watch, they denounce all of their titles. So that goes for any like relationship that you have with family, even. Mm-hmm. So you don't claim your name anymore. You don't claim your family. You don't claim any titles or any lands or any women or children or anything like that. So I feel like that's why the Commander Mormont guy basically said, let's hope that they give them a gentle treatment, because he's already desensitized to the notion of family matters and stuff and personal dwellings, because he's been in servitude to this thing, which is the Night's Watch.
Yeah, he just treats it as a causality. It's and he even treats what's happening down south as almost as if it's an unfolding novella. It's an unfolding fictional book.
It's like a play.
That he's above it.
Yeah.
Because they're literally above in the north on the wall, standing on the wall. So they are kind of above the petty role-playing games that we witnessed at the end. That's how it ended, right? With that one guy who basically strips off his role-playing title as a knight, captain of the Night's Watch, and he throws it on the floor, and it's this like cycle of titles and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Varys speaks to Ned in the dungeon. I just wrote things down so that I remember kind of like scene by scene, so that then if I have anything to say, do you have anything to say about that moment?
Varys speaking to Ned in the dungeon.
He offers him water, right?
He offers him water, yeah.
So that's a form of mercy. Because there's nothing to gain, right? So then you ask yourself, Littlefinger and Varys, they differ because Varys has a little bit of mercy because he has nothing to gain from a dead man, right? He knows and told Ned Stark, like, you're not going to make it out of this because Joffrey.
Yeah.
Joffrey is king and Cersei's in command, and Catelyn knew it too when Robb said that Sansa sent a letter. She's like, oh, you mean the queen? So they know that the bureaucracy does not stand when the Lannisters are in control.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because you can't tame a lion, essentially, is how they treat existence, right? So you can't trust anything. There's no, following it by the book.
Yeah. And an interesting thing about that is that what he says is, he says, like, what got into you telling Cersei that you knew about Joffrey's true birth and stuff, like his true birth.
Yeah.
And then Ned basically saying, like, he was trying to offer her mercy and gave her the option of, like, getting away with her children and stuff. But then the irony is that the Lannisters prove themselves like the type of people they are time and time again, because they send these armored men to go get Arya and Sansa, right? And like the hound guy to go get Sansa. And then it's the complete opposite of what everyone was kind of informing Ned to do. Like Renly, the brother of Robert, was telling him to seize Joffrey and get him in, like, basically kidnap him and use him as a pawn. And Ned refused because he sees children as something that you don't mess around with, that you don't use in that way, or like weaponize against. Like, he has honor in that sense.
And his mistake is offering mercy to a prideful lion.
Yeah.
You know, like in nature, I'm pretty sure I've seen those nature documentaries where even an injured lion will starve himself to death than hunt an injured gazelle. Because they love the hunt so much, and they're so prideful that they only hunt healthy gazelle. And if they're too weak or too injured to hunt a healthy gazelle, then they'll refuse a decaying, rotting carcass or an injured animal. So you can't offer mercy to a prideful lion. And like, that was his biggest mistake.
That makes sense too, because then that would explain why they're not so quick to, like, just kill Ned and get it over with. Like, they're wanting to wage a war and kind of show their teeth and what they have before they make any moves like that, I guess.
Assert prowess.
Yeah. Because if they just did that, then that would kind of be like, hey, like, this is,
They have to give a demonstration of the dramatic.
Yeah.
Especially in courtly life. People love the drama. And like, that's why you gotta upkeep that portion of it. The two corpses arrive at the wall. Tarly called them White Walkers, so I'm gonna refer to them from now on as White Walkers.
White Walkers.
Which makes more sense than zombies. But they're basically zombies.
And something, Jon instinctively threw the fire after he noticed that it wasn't dying. Because it was, someone had mentioned, like, we should burn them the wildling way. And the wildling is what that captive woman is in the Winterfell.
Who speaks the Bronn.
From the north, right? Like, from north of the wall.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, that, it's already hinted that's the way that they deal with these things, is just by burning them.
And fire is a purifier, right? So it's the purification through fire.
Interesting.
Yeah. Churrasco.
Get a picanha.
Picanha. Sansa gets manipulated. Father is traitor. Oh yeah, that scene when Sansa is brought into the queen's chamber and you see all of these leeches surrounding Cersei and they're all crafting and curating a carefully meticulous narrative, you know, like trying to really instill these seeds in her mind and convince her that her own father, who she grew up witnessing as this honorable stand-up guy, stand-up fellow, and she's now being told that everything she knew about her father was a lie. So, you know, like, then at the end we see her begging basically for her father's life, and that shows that she has some form of character and some form of also fire within her that allows her to stand up for what's true. So then it leads to like a question, like, is honor nurture or nature? Like, are people naturally honorable, or are people like kind of coerced into being honorable? You know, like, is honor innate or is it learned?
Yeah.
Because then we have another parallel with Daenerys, who is the Khaleesi, and you see her having a heavy conscience.
Yeah.
A heavy conscience regarding the pillaging of the village, which is another note here, but the pillaging of the village. And so the guy, I forgot his name, but the guy that's helping her out, Jorah says that that's just the way it's been done for years, and he gives that you know, conservative stance on it. It's just the way of the world. It's just the way of the tribe. It's how they operate. But the conscience makes her step in, and there are consequences to disrupting the way and the natural order of things. But there's also potential for growth. And so she takes a risk, and so does Cal. Khal Drogo takes a risk in her name and for her honor. And yeah, that's just interesting. I don't know. Like, honor is an interesting thing because essentially it's doing the right thing, doing what's right, and having a good moral compass for what's wrong.
I think that's why, maybe that's why there's always been a queen for a king. You know, I think that there has to be a balance that's striked, you know, with the two.
So you think that the queen is the mercy giver and that the king is more stern and orderly? It's like the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
Because that's what Khal Drogo says, right? So the moon is more emotion, mercy, benefit of the doubt. So Cersei is fundamentally corrupted, right? Like, she's kind of spoiled, rotten at her core. It's like she doesn't really have any motherly instincts aside from preserving her son's kingship, which is preserving herself in a position of power. So she's too prideful to run and to hide and to live a life running away from the crown. Like, she wants the crown for herself. And yeah, like, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I think that that's how it was set up. It's like now the Lannisters will have full power in the royal castle, like in the royal King's Landing, because Robert Baratheon is completely out of the picture, and they hold all of the armies essentially, all of the money essentially. So now it's like they've consolidated their fortress, you know?
Which kind of reminds me of the current administration in America. It's like, you know, they own the real estate, they own the armies, they own everything, and they're blonde. So it's kind of like we're currently in America, we're being ruled by the Lannisters currently. No, we are. It's like we just are. It's just crazy.
It's funny.
Robb says, "Oh hell nah." That's what I wrote. It's like upon first receiving the request from King Joffrey to pledge fealty to him and to kiss his arse, Robb said, "Oh hell nah. I'm gonna call up my boys, the banners, and we gonna freaking pull up, and that's it. Is done." So we'll see how that pans out. It'll be his first war, I'm assuming, his first experience with war. I wrote down the name of the dude, the Great John guy who is at odds with Robb, sat at an opposite position at the table. You also see maybe this lingering resentment, perhaps. My like human nature radar kind of was, maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but it seems that the guy at the opposite end of the table maybe always wanted to be in the position that Ned Stark was in. And what makes me say that is because of his position at the opposite end of the table. And when Catelyn shows up to the camp, he makes a comment that says like, oh, it's good to see you in these dire times, you know? So maybe there's like an attraction to the wife of Ned, and maybe there's like a thing going on there that's very subtle in the writing and in the execution, but there's a deeper resentment that seems almost unfounded as to why this guy is going against Robb Stark's leadership.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just because he's a child or because he's young and because he's unexperienced. I think there's more to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because back then, actually, contrary to popular belief, people valued youthful leadership more than they did old people. You know, like they would, with Pericles, actually, with his strategy when the Spartans were imposing a peace treaties, but it was really just like a way to control them and to conquer them. The Athens refused under Pericles, and then when Pericles implemented one of his strategies, which was to bring everybody inside of the walls of Athens and basically reject fighting the Spartans and kind of wait out the Spartans' presence in their surrounding lands, hoping that the Spartans would give up and grow tired and grow low on resources and eventually just go away. By accumulating so many people within the walls, he essentially invited a plague which wiped out 1/3 of the population and himself. And then in the aftermath of that decision, the Athenians, who once perceived him as a young, youthful, innovative philosopher, leader, man of the people, because he represented the common folk in the assembly of Athens, and he was one of the first rulers to do that, because they would usually represent certain factions and certain sectors of the assembly. So you had the landowners and you had the soldiers and you had these higher noble people. But Pericles was perceived as a youthful leader who was for democracy. So he upheld this higher standard, which reminds me a little bit of Ned Stark, but maybe Ned is now getting too old for the times and is not adapting to the times. And so there's like a common saying where people would rather not listen to the yappings of an old man.
Yeah.
So that's the dynamic between Robb and this older fellow. In my opinion, it's the new guard versus the old guard. It's the passing of the baton.
And I think that that's exactly what makes someone like Joffrey a bit dangerous too, because right now he's still young enough where his mom could maybe manipulate a little bit and still have some control, but then he's already kind of inching towards the age where he'll step into his own leadership, especially being crowned. Like that's a monumental, artifact there on his head and on this throne of melted swords. And so it's just a matter of time before he starts kind of, taking control of his own kingship and stuff without the counsel of his mom or anybody else. And that's why at the end, when Sansa says like, please show mercy, he says he's already taking initiative and saying, your father has to admit that I am the king or there will be no mercy for him. So he's already making this decision for himself as a king. And I think that the kingship itself kind of feeds into the ego and then will just kind of, fester more and more.
You're really great at offering catalysts for my mentally gone ideas, because I just had another mentally gone idea real quick before I reset well, I'll just reset it because I don't like to speak against the clock. But hold on. So I was just going to say that What's interesting about you saying that is that they're really great at drawing these parallels, right? There's Robin of the Vale, right? The child of Catelyn's sister,
Liza.
So Liza and Robin and Cersei and Joffrey. My question is, a confident king wouldn't put so much emphasis on receiving the validation and the credentials from another man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But Joffrey seems to have a void when it comes to a father figure.
Yeah.
Literally, right? Like his real father is actually his uncle. So and who he thinks is his father is always drinking and hating his life. So he doesn't spend time with his child, and that's one of his deathbed last kind of like condolences is, I'm sorry, I didn't spend time with you. I didn't play football with you, but like, oh, well. So he has a void for a father figure, and he wants Ned Stark, this honorable man, this man of respect within the realm, to confirm to him and give him validation that he is a king.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a true king doesn't need, just like Tywin said in that episode when he was skinning a stag, he said that lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also another throwing in of like sheep, men of sheep, or when the Khaleesi was talking with Khal Drogo, they were inferring that the people that they were pillaging, they were sheep men and women or whatever. And that horses don't mount sheep, which I have something to say about that too. Like, that's pretty interesting. But my point is that Joffrey is very insecure. So to your point about the mother thing, he has to let go of the teat, just like Robin will eventually have to, or not. He's like 13 or something, or 12, and he's still
I don't know when
he's
that's
still
gonna
latching
happen.
on or learning how to latch on. But yeah, he's gonna have to let go of his mom, and he's gonna have to let go of his father. And that's when kingship arrives, because kingship is when you hold something above yourself and above everything else as the highest aim and the highest thing to protect. And that's maybe why the Night's Watch is such an honorable profession up until the Lannisters corrupt it.
Yeah. Because just like you're saying, it would be so much easier for them to just be like, okay, let's just send Ned to the Night's Watch, or let's just kill him and get it over with. But they're so insistent that he backtrack on the fact that he denounced Joffrey as king, or denied Joffrey as being a king. So I think it's just strange, because like Jon Arryn, which was the previous hand, was questioning the birthright of these children, and they just killed him. But with Ned, I think that's why Varys kind of like is trying to lure Ned into confessing or just like backtracking on his previous statements, because maybe they still want to utilize the Starks in some way, since they hold so much control in the North.
And they hold respect in terms of optics.
Yeah.
I think that the reason why they just did out with the last hand of the king, and they're not doing that immediately with Ned Stark, and they're kind of trying to get him to publicly confess and vow fealty to Joffrey, is because he's a man of the highest honor.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's the embodiment of honor during that time. Maybe there's no man more honorable than Ned Stark.
Mm.
And so the optics of him pledging and validating the crown makes all the difference for the current administration, like for the Lannisters.
Yeah.
But I also think that because Cersei saw that that the letter that Ned delivered had the official seal of the king on it, she knows that Robert Baratheon, she doesn't know that Robert knew, right?
No, she doesn't know. But
she knows that Ned knows.
She knows that,
obviously, because he told her. All right, so like that, just like forget that part. But yeah, but the other part is just like, I think it's just the optics of it. It's getting the most honorable man to bow to this king, and people basically say like, oh, Ned Stark, really? well, if Ned Stark did it, then I got to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. True.
Catelyn's sister withholds info in order to save her son Robin. She says that she will not mobilize her troops from the Vale in order to help and assist the North. Okay. Tyrion and Bronn, Stone Crows, they encounter them. Okay, so their whole friendship and relationship is contingent on money and prestige and payments and privileges. Violent men value humor, right? So that's one of the strengths of Tyrion. That's what I was gonna like point out, is that I just find it fascinating how violent men tend to value humor. And that's why kings would have their jesters. Because in court, right, like you'll have a whole day of listening to people's pleas and people's requests, and people, like, that's what kings do. And a lot of the kings in history, they would portray kind of this democratic, not democratic obviously, but this like fair kingdom, right, where the king listens and tries his best to please everybody, but they would constantly make sure that they're showing their force. Their force is at the forefront. So you can come and ask the king for a stoplight and for a stop sign and for a new Starbucks in your kingdom, but you probably will feel a little more intimidated making that request if you walk in and there's like 100 soldiers, you know, just standing guard and just like making sure that, like, if the king wants to make you disappear, he could. And maybe if he doesn't like the Frappuccinos at Starbucks, prefers Dunkin', like, you don't know. So then you might just like not make it home that night. So violent men value humor, and that's Tyrion's strength. So Tyrion is very quick-witted and smart and humorous. He promises the Vale, so a whole kingdom can be promised. That's a lot of power.
And now there's like ammunition to want to take down the Vale because they tried to kill him for no reason.
Yeah, they try to kill him. But it also shows who's, like, what power really is, right? If his dad can offer this group of savage Vikings a whole kingdom, then his father holds technically more power than whoever sits on the Iron Throne.
And he does. Like, that's literally it.
So it's like whoever owns real estate. So kids, invest in real estate. That's the message here in the show. Jon Snow, zombie, fire, purifier, purification. Khaleesi against pillaging villages. I think we touched on that. I do find it interesting how they talk about mounting, and basically they refer to themselves not really as humans, but more so in alignment with the nature of a horse. And to mount is to, which is funny because on our walk the other day, we saw this not a tow truck, but those trucks that like those Allstate insurance trucks that put your truck on top of the ramp. I don't know what those trucks are called, but one of those trucks that have those ramps that, like, you know, carry another car on top, it was coming to pick up another truck. And then it was a big black truck and this white kind of like tow truck thing. And then this black truck was mounting it. And then we just made a passing joke of like, oh, like that's how trucks are born, you know, like how, like that's how trucks are made.
And
that's
thus a semi truck or whatever they're called is born.
SUV was born, a young SUV. But yeah, so mounting is a very primordial, animalistic thing and way to describe procreation, basically. And that's what they refer to it as. It's like mounting. And then his son is going to mount the world, which obviously is his son is going to dominate and basically have complete hegemony of the world.
Yeah.
You know, like it's going to have...
Spread his seed.
Robb, Great John conflict. There was a moment of saving face and a moment of mercy because Robb is, again, privileged to higher education. He knows the politics and the bureaucracy of being Lord and like having the title that his father did. So he quickly kind of publicly in the presence of a lot of witnesses says that bearing and unsheathing iron against the Lord results in death sentence. And so he kind of saves the Grey John in order to gain an ally, but then the guy doesn't really feel any sense of gratitude for that, and he continues to show resentment. So did it work? Did it not work?
Yeah.
It cost them 2 fingers. So
Continues to question him, right?
yeah. Then we have the old gods beyond the wall answer to all. I think that just makes a subtle wink and nod at how religion and belief and faith are not always the same thing, right? Like you can have belief and faith without religion, and usually it's pure without the perimeters and the outlines and the steps that religion produces, you know, and it's man produced, it's man made in many cases, and it loses its purity over the age, right? So I think faith in nature, for example, is what the slave lady was trying to tell Bran.
Yeah. And about that, she said that in the South that prayers may not be answered there because there's no werewoods, which are those trees. And I thought that was interesting because I feel like that's kind of it just kind of translates like what we see in the world now, like how far removed we become from nature, from faith, and from like spirituality, or from just a deeper like understanding and meaning in life when we're not in nature, and like when everything around us is just manufactured. And then that's what King's Landing is. It's just castles and
idols,
and idols, and there's no werewoods, and you don't sense any spiritual or deeper connection with anything, and so it's just all man ruled ideas and stuff.
And you saw that there was a quick parallel shot of the Dothraki destroying a idol, a stone statue idol. When they were pillaging that village, they destroyed and knocked down an idol statue. And I think that there are obviously multiple parallels in the modern world. I think that the burning of the Library of Alexandria was one of those instances where people in power, or people who want complete power, they will destroy any reminder, any temples, any statues, any doorways to true kind of connection with God, or connection with nature, or whatever you want to believe. They'll destroy it and burn it down and like do all these things in order to erase any evidence of a true connection. And then they'll replace that with idols and with bureaucracy, and whatever they want you to believe is what they'll teach you. And another thing that I was kind of going down a rabbit hole the other day was, I don't know if you know this, but the Western education system was imported by fascist industrialists. And it was based off of a Prussian military model, where it was designed to create and produce obedient soldiers. And so fascist industrialists imported that model in order to basically civilize rural farmer kids and children into becoming obedient factory workers. And that's another example of burning traditions and burning autonomy and true connection with anything that's real.
Yeah. Is
that you brainwash. And it's the same model that we're using today in schools in the public system of America.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's gone completely unchanged. So it's just like interesting because it's all for the interest of a certain group of people. Like they don't want you to have agency and autonomy. They want you to be completely subjugated to whatever their interests are.
And that's why there's so much like sheep, sheep recurring mention of the sheep in this, is because that's like what humans are associated with when you're not autonomous, when you don't have free will or free agency against like a larger system. You just become part of the flock that is just carried in through the system, and that's it, like whatever's forged for you.
And that's why shepherds are analogous with savior, because shepherds were considered by archaic people as one of the most noble professions, because you have to protect the epitome of innocence, which are the sheep and the delicious lambs that are delicious not only to us, but also to predators, to predatory forces. And you have to protect the epitome of innocence from the most haunting predatory forces that you can't even predict. So it's against unpredictable predators.
Yeah.
And that's why it was such an honorable the profession. Because to be a shepherd is to lay your life in favor of something that is pure and innocent.
Yeah.
From predators.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I'm almost in. Robb confronts the spy. Oh yeah, they can't really do math and read back then, so it was just funny, like seeing the guy go like, I only managed to get up to 20,000, you know, and like Robb has 18,000, like that's all he has, which sounds like a lot, but you know, in war, especially hand-to-hand combat, it gets pretty sketch.
Yeah.
Those numbers go down pretty quick.
Yeah.
Tywin leverages future promises to gain armies, to gain new army swords. Yeah. So at this time, it's interesting too that there was already this understanding, even among more primitive peoples, that you would sacrifice current wants and needs in favor of a future promise and a future gain. Right? So animals in nature, usually they don't have that capacity to have forethought to that extent, where they create complex contracts with the future, and they make these obligations with each other in favor of the future versus the present. But you see that happening with these primitive Vikings and Tywin Lannister. And Tywin immediately, in a few minutes, just closes a deal, makes a clean negotiation with these people, and gains a few swords.
Yeah.
In exchange for what to him,
extra men. Yeah.
It doesn't really make a difference if he gives the kingdom or not, because he's the hand of the king, so he could do that.
And they could possibly die, you know. So then it's like less people that he has to.
And his son too could possibly die, and that's why he doesn't object to Tyrion going with him, because if he really cared about his son, then he could have said, all right, never mind,
well,
I'll give you the thing. No,
he sent Jaime off to war, so I feel like it's no different. So it's kind of the first instance that we see him treating Tyrion kind of equally with the other brother, because he's like, all right, you also, if you want to be a Lannister, then you have to also step in when you're needed. And so just like Robb is taking up the banners for the Starks and stuff, Tyrion also has to contribute for the Lannister name and for the family of the Lannisters. So I don't think it's like out of the ordinary, because Jaime is off with his own armies coming in from one side, and Tywin is with the rest of the army, or whatever the plan is. But
that makes sense.
Something that's interesting, because I just remembered in the very first episode, because I also like rewatched our videos like before we did the last reaction, and I remembered that in the very first episode there was the dead direwolf and the stag.
Oh shoot.
The dead direwolf mother, and then that's when they found the pups.
That's how that wolf got killed.
Yes, and the stag. So then it's literally foreshadowing what happens, like what is happening with like the Starks are literally put in a in like a danger zone after intertwining themselves with Baratheon, with King Robert. And so it was like a warning. And that's why Catelyn was telling him not to go south and was like urging him to stay in Winterfell, because it's, you know, it's kind of like it's a motherly instinct too.
Mothers always know, right?
Yeah, and something else about the first episode, the way this all starts, really, like when the chaos starts, is with them pushing Bran out of the window. And so it already shows like their morale as people, like their morality, that they were willing to kill a child right from the get-go. And so it was already a huge contrast between two families. Like Lannisters will push your kids out of windows, and the Starks, even in the midst of war and having to make decisions, want to spare the children, you know?
Which is an indication of psychopathy, right? Like they're definitely sociopaths.
Yeah, and now that in this episode, it was mentioned that Tywin ordered for the killing of the other Targaryen children of the previous Mad King or whatever. So
in the sleep, they killed him in the sleep.
So the Lannisters, they really are ruthless. Like they really don't care.
Apple don't fall far from the tree.
Oh man, that is insane. One thing I wanted to mention.
Just keep an eye with me while you talk. Always keep an eye.
Okay.
Because
you could change it. But one thing I wanted to mention was that a lot of people seem to bring up that Jaime turned around and killed the previous king, which was the Mad King, and he had mentioned to Ned before that king threatened to set everybody on fire, like something extreme, right? And so I don't really blame him, but it's interesting that they all like hold him so accountable for that, when meanwhile like what he was doing is probably one of the more honorable things that he could have done, versus the people that just stand idly by and don't do anything in the face of corruption.
The fact that Tyrion holds his brother to a higher standard and kind of regards him as a good person, kind of like as a loving brother, it leads me to believe that maybe Jaime isn't all bad, because I kind of trust Tyrion's judgment. Like he's the one character so far that I really enjoy, when like his presence on screen is very enjoyable, but it's also very like he teaches me a lot about the world and gives me a lot of context clues about like people and what people's, you know, full extent is. Does that make sense?
Like their nature.
Yeah, like he's shown that he doesn't really like his sister Cersei, and she doesn't really like him. But he likes his brother Jaime.
And you saw he was in shock when Tywin said that Cersei.
Oh, yeah. Cersei and Joffrey. He's like, oh god.
He's like, so King Baratheon is dead.
And he's like, oh god.
And I'm almost certain it was all plotted, but you know, we'll get to that. We'll learn how and who and what. But
imagine Cersei was playing the long game and she just waited until Joffrey came of age. Then she ordered her brother, who was the wine boy, the wine bearer for Robert during his hunt. Like, what if that was the plan all along? Is just wait until Joffrey came of a certain age, wait until his potential wife was within the King's Landing, which is Sansa, and then execute the plan. Because I'm sure Robert does those hunting experiences pretty routinely, you know, so there was always an opportunity to hit him with extra wine.
But why did Varys say that it wasn't the wine or the boar that killed him, it was your mercy to Ned? Because I'm still trying to figure out.
I don't know why he would blame him for Robert's death. But my guess was when he was writing the thing and his decision to offer the mercy to Cersei is what killed the kingdom, maybe. You know,
or is it the mercy, like the mercy of kind of doing him the favor and becoming the hand of the king in the first place?
Could have been that.
I don't know, but their words are like, am I trying to keep up?
Poetry, right?
Like, what do you mean?
Just like Syrio too. Like Syrio was spitting some facts.
So, okay, I'm gonna run through my notes and then we'll wrap it up. But because I already addressed most of them, but I have a few other ones. I wanted to talk about the the biggest thing, because this episode is called The Pointy End, right? So let's backtrack to the very first scene of this episode. Syrio Forel, Arya's dancing master, is, in the middle of giving her a lesson, and then the Lannister men barge in, and then he's fighting them off with just a wooden sword, which I thought was interesting, because when you think of like wood, you think of trees and how they endure, and so it doesn't really matter if it's like steel or not, because they are built to endure and they're kind of like firm in itself,
I would be curious to know if Syrio had faith in the old gods, in the tree gods.
Maybe, but he said that the only god he believes in is the god of death.
And then Varys also relays that same message to Ned Stark. Says not today. Yeah,
so maybe. But then the interesting thing is that like when you think of steel, you think of like manufactured. So it's like a difference. So I think that the reason he's able to take down all of those men with just a wooden sword is because it's about the natural ability to do it, that he's strengthened himself, versus the manufactured cold, rigid steel and brute force that really doesn't get yourself far if you don't have that flow, that like chi, that energy.
Basically farm to table organic versus McDonald's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
to put it in modern terms here.
Thank you.
I'm her translator.
And then what I wanted to mention is that
but that's a great point, by the way.
When the kid comes up behind Arya and is like going to grab her, and then she sticks needle and points him with the pointy end, it was almost as if all of the lessons with Syrio, or what's his name? Syrio Forel. All of her lessons with Syrio go out the window, and the only lesson that she remembers really is the first one that Jon gave her, which is, what do you do with this? You stick them with the pointy end, and that's it. And so in that moment, it didn't matter that she like ward him off or like dance around him or do any of that. It was just stick him, and then that's it. And so that's when she commits her first kill, essentially.
And you can also draw a parallel with Robb, right? It's like, that's exactly what we were talking about before, how training versus real life action is very different. And then you see Syrio Forel holding his composure, when being over, what do you call it? It's too late.
Like
when there's too many, like there was more people versus one. Overwhelmed by more people than.
What is that word?
I don't know, but I'm not going to stay on it. But like when he was being overwhelmed by the Lannister men, he kept his composure. Outnumbered and overwhelmed by the Lannister men, he kept his composure. And he kept all of his principles.
Yes.
So he embodies his principles. He is his principles, right? So that's something that I think you only learn through experience in the fire.
Yeah.
And when you are exposed to the war for so long. And that's why they call Robb a green boy. Mm-hmm. And Arya acted as a green girl there.
And
she didn't know, like she just instinctively, impulsively, she just remembered her brother.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing, this is just like a funny parallel that I thought of, the fact that she's been able to escape the capital, even though she's basically on the most wanted list right now. Like she's a Stark.
5 stars. Yeah. She has like 6 stars in GTA.
The cops are all after her. And she's just able to escape and just go unnoticed and stuff. And so I think in that way, she did implement her lessons. Like she's moving stealthily like a cat. And she went through, it seemed like she went through the chambers where she was following that cat.
The dungeons,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then what I wanted to say is that her sword's name is Needle, which was supposed to just be a funny analogy in comparison to Sansa sewing needles, right? But then the irony is that Arya herself is like a needle in a haystack. Like she's like she's kind of just like disappearing in the flood of the King's Landing.
Yeah.
And going unnoticed.
She's good at that. She's good at making herself sparse.
Yeah, like she just escapes.
Huh.
So
that's a good one, the needle in the haystack.
I just thought of that, like funny parallel. Ned says, like, if it's true that Catelyn no longer holds Tyrion as a captive, then just slit my throat and be done with it. I think that he is still holding out hope that his family will, you know, pull some strings and make something happen. Like, I think that he already anticipates that they will wage a war, because he is a man of war and he is a previous soldier and he has experience in the way that these things usually pan out. And so even though he's rotting in a dungeon, he knows that outside of that dungeon, that war is already beginning, like his men were butchered. And so
because his reputation precedes him, right?
Yeah.
So his reputation is going to be enough to gather the banners and then come and save him, essentially.
But then the reason he says that is because of what you said. It's like when they lose their leveraging and they lose their, you know, their leverage point, which would have been Tyrion.
Collateral.
Yeah, then it kind of weakens. He knows in comparison to the Lannisters, especially now having seen it firsthand in King's Landing as the Hand of the King and being a part of the Council of the King, knowing how much power the Lannisters hold, he kind of already anticipates that they won't be able to overwhelm their armies. So he says, like, slit my throat and be done with it, because he's powerless right now. And so it doesn't do any good to just rot there and, you know, even have to live through any worse news, like if his daughters die or son or whatever happens.
So he's asking for mercy, which is funny, right? Like he's basically asking for mercy. Like, all right, so just be done with
mercy through death, but they're so insistent that the mercy he seeks is the mercy of pledging loyalty to Joffrey and staying alive or becoming a man of the Night's Watch. Like, that's no mercy for him.
And then we can't believe that he's a completely honorable person in the pure sense, because he also has pride.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that he won't subjugate himself to Joffrey's kingship means that he has a lot of pride.
Yeah, because that's my question too. Like, isn't he concerned about the well-being of his daughters, especially? Like, he obviously hadn't gotten them out of King's Landing yet, so he knows that they're you know,
that they're in danger.
Yeah, that they're in the hands of these lions.
And that he's responsible for them.
But he just doesn't seem, I don't know, that doesn't seem to like really pull anything out of him enough that he's, I don't know, that he's still like holding on to any faith. Sister in King's Landing. Oh yeah, the way Cersei manipulates Sansa, which you mentioned. She says, like, how am I supposed to let you marry my son? So she's like manipulating the one thing that she's holding her ideals towards still, which is becoming the princess or queen of Joffrey and marrying him and still holding on to that fantasy and stuff. And Cersei knows that she's, you know, still naive in that sense and is using that against her. Because in this world, you want to always make sure that you know what the other person wants. Yeah. And that's what Tyrion shows us with Bronn. It's like he read Bronn just like a book. Like he said, I know exactly what you want. You claim to defend my honor, but you want money and women. Yeah, exactly. And something interesting is that I think that the tactic that they're using is it's supposed to be smart, but obviously it's not working because the Starks see through it. But the tactic that they were hoping to use is I don't think that Cersei is dumb enough to think that they would read that letter and know that it was Sansa writing the words. Like, I think that she knew that they know that it's the queen, Cersei, writing the words and it's just Sansa's handwriting. And so I think that the reason for that is kind of like an intimidation a little bit. Obviously, it's like we hold a lone wolf right now, and this lone wolf is howling, you know, in order to bring in the rest of the pack and surround them. So it's using the howl of a lone wolf to call the rest of the pack and then get all of them, you know, under their thumbs and
trap
then
them inside of the walls of King's Landing, because then Catelyn tells Robb, don't go, because then you won't be able to exit and leave.
Yeah, like I think that Cersei, I think that the Lannisters are very smart and clever, and I think that she obviously knew that they wouldn't read it and think like, oh, like we have to, like, oh, look, Sansa's telling us to do this, so let's go. They obviously, she knows that.
Yo, that's my sister, man. We gotta go. Call an Uber. Let's go.
But yeah, so that was interesting. And then let's see. Being afraid means you're not stupid. I think that was like a very interesting comment that Theon made.
That's actually physiologically accurate too. Like if you feel nervous about doing something, then that's a good sign. It means that you value that something a lot. So like many times when we sit to do these reactions, we feel nervous, especially after long breaks or like life events that happen off screen. Then we sit back and we start everything up again, and there's this like shakiness and this, you know, nerve-wracking feeling of coming back and presenting ourselves on stage. And I think that that's an indication of what you should pursue, because if it's meaningful enough, then it should strike fear in your heart. And I think that that's why in many religions, God is viewed as this striking kind of like fearful being that is supposed to strike fear in your heart because of the intensity of the calling, kind of, you know. So
Yeah, because another thing too is that if you're afraid, then you're more likely to be thorough in the decisions, in the decision makings, you know. You're more likely to be alert and more conscious of it, versus if you weren't afraid and maybe you were too
studying that recently,
you know.
I was actually studying like main motivators, and there's the reward and there's fear, and you can use a reward as a motivator. Like you can work hard towards buying a house, or you can work hard towards buying a house and you have a terminal disease that puts your life in a certain window of existence, and then you only have that time. So then there's the fear of death, plus the reward will catapult you into action and add a certain fervor to your resolve that you wouldn't get if it was just the reward. And so like when Catelyn basically told Robb, you know, clear cut said, if you don't win this war, then all of us are going to die. Then Robb said, well, then that makes it easier.
And then it's settled. Like, then we just have to win.
It makes it easy.
Yeah.
It's like he said, then it makes it easy. And the reason why is because of the fear factor. It's like, that's why Joe Rogan made so much money off of that, because the fear factor and the reward, you put $10,000, dangle it in front of somebody, they might work really hard to like do a task, but if you instill fear in them, then they're more likely to like complete it.
Yeah, that's true. But that makes a lot of sense. And there's also like an adrenaline, right, that comes from fear. So then you're on edge and you're more likely to, you know.
You got to climb the tree away from the lion, and you got to, you know, it's a primitive fight or flight.
That's how animals operate in nature. It's like the animals that are prey, they have that innate fear of the predators, but that's what allows them to be able to develop the survival mechanisms that they do, like how quickly they run away and how quickly they escape and how they escape, and
that's
the
why
direction.
They can move so fluid.
Yeah.
When they're climbing trees and stuff, it seems like they don't mess up. It's because they do it so perfectly and so meticulously to increase the likelihood of their survival.
That's like really interesting. Yeah. Ghost sense trouble. So I thought that was interesting too. It's like dogs have an alert,
sixth sense.
Yeah, like a sense for things, and I think that they read energy. And he was able to sense something off outside, and then it's interesting because even in the situation that you mentioned where it was Robb and what was his name? The other guy across from him? John, you said?
Great John.
Great John?
Yeah.
In that scenario, you see that Robb's direwolf is just laying underneath the table, like just laying down. And then once things started to escalate, it was almost as if it was an instinct, and then it went and attacked the guy. So I think that the direwolves, specifically the direwolves, and not just animals, but wolves and dogs especially, have a companionship and a bond and an energetic tie, and they're able to like read situations very quickly, you know,
because it's a mutually beneficial parasitic relationship, right? Like especially in the beginning of time when humans were allied with wolves would help keep away predators, and in exchange humans would give them a portion of the hunt. And so they created this like communication and this language and this loving relationship that's why what you're saying, I think. And it's weird too, because I think the other day when I opened up Google, like you know how Google below, like when you go on Google, they have all those like news articles and like relative news and recent stuff. One of the recent ones that I saw, I just read the headline. I'm like a headline reader sometimes. But dire wolves are actually one of the first animals that they're trying to bring back from extinction.
What?
Using advancements in science. I don't know the specifics because I only read the headline, but yeah.
That's interesting. I did not know that. Witches' words are poison to the ears. I think that's something that I could agree with. I think that there's definitely like, obviously if you believe in that sort of thing, I'm not saying I do, but I think that that's an interesting statement is what I mean, because when you think of like black magic or curses, usually it's the spelling or the vocalization of it. And so when that Dothraki kind of tries to like shut that woman up and says that she's a witch and that the witch's words are poison to the ears, it's, I don't know, like it was just interesting. Because I don't know what to make of that yet, but
and it's kind of when we watched Hereditary and there were portions where they were speaking things in Latin and we were kind of like taking our headphones off.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was a little bit hyperbolized, but not really. Like I truly believe that. Like I believe that words hold energetic power and weight, and certain frequencies could alter your fundamental, like could alter you fundamentally in many ways, but one of the ways is your brain chemistry. And these are all studies that have been proven. It's like certain sounds really do something to you, and even could kind of rearrange your whole framework of experience and how you perceive reality. And that's why people do sound therapy and they do sound baths and they do all these things which have proven benefits. But to what you're saying is also what was I going to say to that? I think it's just the Midsummer, not the Midsummer. We're doing Midsummer soon. Hereditary, yeah, because it's all by the same studio, I think. I don't know, but yeah, the words is poison.
Yeah, and basically that it like enters your subconscious and
also like. Oh yeah, it's basically that. Like words are powerful, and there are also studies about like self-authoring programs, right? Like where you write about yourself in the future tense, in the future tense, and you also write about your current experience and what you perceive it as, and this helps kind of reconfigure your reality based off of what words you use to describe yourself and yourself in relation to the broader world and society. So I think that if a witch is casting a spell on you, then subconsciously you're going to maybe be hypnotized and put into a trance into maybe purchasing her agenda for your life. And that's why maybe it's poison to the ears.
Yeah.
And the Dothraki are very kind of like grunt, like primitive people. So they don't really have a lot of verbal defense against maybe a sorcerer who uses wordplay as her power and her vehicle of manipulation.
Yeah.
So his way of shutting that down is literally using violence. So it's not like Tyrion who would be like, oh, a witch who says many words of curses and things. You know,
Yeah.
like he would probably say something like that.
Or just ripping their throats out. So like that's their methods of silencing you.
Yeah. Silence.
And because like your ears are the one thing that you can't shut really, you know?
Can't even when you want.
It's like constantly open all the time. So you have like control of your nose. I guess you could cover your ears, but
And what's interesting is that the Fibonacci sequence pattern is literally the spiral thing. And that's what's inside of your eardrum.
Yeah.
And it's a literal it's a micro representation of what the galaxy is. You know, like at the center of the galaxy, there's a massive black hole. And then everything spirals kind of around that massive galaxy or that massive black hole.
That's, yeah. And then let's see what else we got just to go through this.
As above, so below. As within, so without.
Robb threatens to march back north and then raise up arms against the Great John for being an oath breaker, which is what we kind of touched on, like the importance of upholding your word. So whether you're a man of the Night's Watch, or whether you're a commander of the King's Guard, or whether you're one of the bannermen for a certain someone, like the upholding of your word is something that's really important to people. But it seems like that gets miscued in the politics of like King's Landing and stuff. So then truth doesn't really matter, and upholding words and morals doesn't really matter.
And it's interesting that even for a sellsword, just like Bronn, like he upkeeps his word by not killing and robbing Tyrion right there on the spot.
Yeah. Like that ring is worth a lot, and he showed it.
Yeah.
It's a fancy little ring there.
Exactly. Like that ring alone, which Bronn probably knows. Like he's 100% analyzed Tyrion head to toe, you know, and it didn't take him too long to do that either. He just gave him a little glance, but he knew like exactly what he got.
This I wanted to mention because I thought that this was actually really sweet, was when Robb is speaking to Bran in bed and is about to depart from Winterfell, and then he says that he has to look over Winterfell now, and he has to look over his little brother. I thought that was very interesting because instead of treating him as like a cripple and maybe passing on responsibility to someone else, he's instilling that responsibility in Bran still. So he's now going to be the acting Lord of Winterfell in Robb's absence, because since Ned is not there and Ned is the Lord of Winterfell, then it's Robb. And since Robb is not there, now it's going to be Bran. And so Bran, although crippled and can't really do much physically, holds the title now of the Lord of Winterfell and has to uphold the responsibility of that. And I just thought that it was like a kind gesture of him as a brother to not like treat him as just being disabled, or you know.
And Robb is essentially saving his life by doing that, because when you are injured, the first thing to leave you is your sense of purpose, especially if it's a crippling predicament where you can't really mobilize yourself to action towards something that you once valued as your purpose. And by giving him all of Winterfell to manage, literally bypasses all of the excuses and all of the dread and depression and anxiety that maybe he was experiencing because of his current situation, you know? So Robb is giving him a second life, a second wind, you know, like a purpose, a grand purpose even. It's like, you're going to be the Lord of Winterfell while I'm gone.
Yeah. So, yeah. And that's exactly what he needs, I think.
That's a good brother. It's a good brother thing. It's a good big brother.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention was that before all of this ever happened, well, not all of it, but remember when Tywin was talking to Jaime in the tent, and then he asks him like, why didn't you kill Ned? And then Jaime explained that the other guy interfered and then just like stabbed him through the leg and stuff, and then that he just didn't end up killing him and stuff. I think that's like demonstrating already how they handle these things is that they constantly just wipe out any loose threads, like any threat. That their way is usually just like clean the slate and just get it done with. But then in this case, like now they're, using it to manipulate war and stuff. And then again, like the way that they want to do it is that they want to lure the rest of the Starks to King's Landing so that they can most probably wipe them out too and eliminate the threat altogether. Because if they were to kill Ned, then that would only create more of an uprising, right? Like more of a...
Especially with the North, because once they get word that the South... Because then it becomes a confederation thing, right? Because there's already a confederation forming of the Northmen versus the people in the South. And then that's when you would divide the 7 kingdoms into multiple factions.
But then the very last thing I wanted to say, and it's the last kind of statement, was Robb saying that, tell Tywin that winter is coming for him. I really like that. I'm all the way a Stark rooter here. Like, I hope that, this works out in their favor. And yeah, I hope Tywin does have a winter coming for him, because those Lannisters are something else.
They really need to be humbled, I feel.
I know.
I hate when we come across characters who have been in their ivory tower, kind of undisturbed for so long and just left to their own devices and nobody intervenes. And again, we're living through that right now in the current administration in the United States. But it's like being ruled by Lannisters kind of sucks, because if you speak out, then you're going to get killed.
And then ironically, that's exactly how the Night's Watch feel about everybody else in the rest of the 7 kingdoms. They're like, oh, everybody else is just, dining away in their towers and castles and wherever else they are. And then meanwhile, like, we're the ones fending off the real threats that come, through this wall and stuff.
And at times I feel like sometimes it's necessary to like allow that wall to break and allow whatever
to cross
over, because I think people just need to see it to believe it. It's like, unfortunately, that's a fundamental flaw for a lot of people, and that's why religion is so misguiding nowadays, is because they literally show you what they want you to believe, because people need to see things in order to believe them. So to have a direct experience with death and to see a White Walker, like maybe they do those traveling carnivals where they do those freak shows.
Yeah.
And you just get one of those White Walkers, put them in a cage, and then start parading that White Walker around all the 7 kingdoms. And that would be my PR tactic, and my, like, if I was responsible for the media compartment within the Black Brotherhood, the Night's Watch. If I was head of PR, like, I would have done that.
I know, but then you think too, like would that even make people flinch? I feel like people are so self-absorbed in their worlds that I feel like it would take I feel like it would take a monstrous amount of those things to even make them bat an eye. I don't even think that one would, like, even just taking one of those things would make them. I don't know.
That's
maybe.
what happened during 2020, right? With the whole thing that happened then.
Yeah.
I don't want to use those words because YouTube, I don't know if YouTube flags videos that say the things, but you can mention the year.
Yeah.
But what happened in 2020 was essentially that. It's like people, like you had to have something happen really intensely in order for people to even take a moment and be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Life isn't just about the next iPhone.
Yeah. And like one case isn't going to do it. But then once you have a million cases, then it's like, oh, now I see the detriment and the seriousness of this thing. So,
but then you see that, like, it's been 5 years since that, and now people are just right back to square one. Like, most people are worse than they were when it happened, because you saw like a little shift. People became more empathetic and more kind and loving in certain cases, and more giving, and just opened their hearts more to the plight of humans.
Yeah.
But then now you see them just resorting back to their nasty ways, especially in Jersey. If you drive in Jersey, you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll all see. Beep, cutting off and whatever.
Jesus.
But yeah, so anything else?
That's all, and I really have to pee. So.
All right, guys, so we're going to call it right here. It's a great moment to cut it off. We spoke a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully some of that made sense.
Oh, it did.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Special thank you for sticking around to the end of this discussion. If you stuck around to this point, let us know in the comments. We will be also pinning a question in the comments, so make sure to head on there to join the discussion on the Mentally Gone community page. We also update you guys with any news or any secret news about like next movies and stuff. We also mention it on the community page. And with that being said, don't forget that it's never wrong
to be mentally gone. Peace to the world.